Hey friends, thanks for stopping by today to Sunshine for the Soul, where we're taking a look at our new strawberry full moon energies that are right around the corner. They're going to peak at 11:42 p.m. on June 3rd if you're in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. But today I want to share with you some fun facts about this strawberry moon. When I started doing this reading, I was a little interested on where this labeling came from, why we call it the strawberry full moon. As a kid, I grew up on a farm in Connecticut, and one of the things that I absolutely loved, and one of my fondest memories, is in the springtime when acres of our strawberries would come up. We as children would sit in the middle of the strawberry patch and just eat to our heart's content. And my grandfather, who grew the strawberries, got all his farming and gardening information from the Farmer's Almanac. He always wore a pair of navy blue Dickies, and he had that Farmer's Almanac rolled up and stuck in his pocket at all times. So I went to the Farmer's Almanac for the information that I was seeking today about where the strawberry full moon naming originated from. And it comes from the North American Native tribes. Now, I'm 1/16th Native American Cherokee. My great-grandmother, Maddie, was born on a Cherokee reservation and left the reservation to marry my trapper great-grandfather. My only grandparent that I have alive still is my grandmother, and she is 95 years old, and she was born in Cherokee, North Carolina. Just fun fact on the personal side. The Native Americans looked at the wild strawberry as a food staple for the spring. After the long winters of not having any fresh fruits, the strawberry came in and brought all vitamin C, vitamin A. Especially, this is a high source of vitamin C and antioxidants. It was also referred to as the flowering moon or the gardening moon because of all the planting and growth that takes place in the month of June. My Cherokee ancestors like to call it plants in garden are sprouting moon. I looked and I found that the Cree in the Canadian culture refers to it as the moon when leaves come out, marking the step of nature's yearly cycle of rebirth. And in Chinese cultures, they call this strawberry full moon the lotus. So I thought I'd just share a couple little fun facts about the strawberry moon as we get into this reading. And today what I'm doing is asking the universe, instead of how does this relate to me or what should I do, or the universe really likes process guidance questions. It likes to be asked what we can change, what we can transform. When you propose a question like that in your reading or in your meditations, the universe gets all excited about that because it's like, yes, process guidance questions. This is where I can lay down hints and steps so you find your own way. The universe doesn't tell us what to do. It doesn't want us to be zombies. It wants us to learn how to make decisions for ourselves, for our greatest and highest timeline. So we're going to frame ourselves in the question. So divine masculine, divine feminines, let's get into this reading. What is going on in the strawberry full moon energies between the divine feminine and the divine masculine? Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunshine for the Soul community. So happy you decided to hang out with me today for a little bit. If you're new to Sunshine for the Soul, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Cindy. I'm a twin flame on the journey for about 1.5 years now. I'd like to invite you to join your energy with our soul tribe today to help it grow by subscribing, liking videos, or commenting on videos. Your personal input, these small steps, allow you to be part of encouraging and helping others along their spiritual awakening journey. As twin flames, we have all been on a wild, energetic ride, a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, revelations and transformation. And if you're on the twin flame journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So please take what only resonates for you in this reading and leave what doesn't. If one small message brings joy or a better understanding to your journey, that is the core mission of Sunshine for the Soul, to give back to the collective and be a greater positive influence in our beautiful world. Let's see what messages the universe has for you today. And again, thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm using the Rider-Waite deck for the divine feminine energy. What in my divine feminine energy needs to change, shift, or transform to be on my greatest and highest timeline. The first card I pulled was a major arcana, the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a destined turn of events. This is a turning point within the divine feminine's energy. This is the ending of a cycle where we expand and we get out of the old and into the new. Just like the rebirth of spring and having strawberries come up in the spring. The old cycle is closing out, and now we have all this new, beautiful growth. And for the divine feminine energy, this may be an ending of a cycle of chasing the divine masculine. Maybe it's an ending of the cycle of looking at their faults and what they need to heal, and understanding that they are mirroring to us what in us needs to heal. Or if our divine masculines are not part of our lives, in our divine feminine energy, there is something that needs to be healed within us. So we have to look at everything and not think, oh, it's all about that person, but what is that person? What is that divine masculine energy reflecting back to my divine feminine energy? So the Wheel of Fortune is, things have changed in these dynamics. The divine feminine is no longer chasing. They no longer feel separated. You feel one. Once you get to a certain point in this journey, you understand that even if you're separated in the physical, your souls are one. So there is no actual separation between the two of you. Now it's all about, what can I create? Our energy is our most valued resource. Where we put our energy is where we will be able to manifest and create. So the universe is saying here in this divine feminine energy that we are at a turning point. So what needs to change, shift, and transform? This shift had to take place. The second card I pulled was the Two of Swords. That's air element, that's Libra energy. And the swords are communications and thoughts. And the swords brings someone is blinded, they can't see everything to make a choice. They're in the dark about something, but they've come to this fork in the road where they must make a crossroads choice. They're at a stalemate. So maybe with the divine feminine, the energies pushed you to make a choice in this twin flame connection. With the divine masculine energy, no longer to chase. To come out of that energy of seeking validation from your 3D connection with your twin flame, which is a very important part of the twin flame journey. Because once we can release it, we can surrender it. We've healed abandonment, rejection, low self-worth wound, which chasing is a reflection in a sense, though, that we're running. Because yes, we seem to be chasing the energy and we want the relationship in the 3D, but in essence, we're kind of running from ourselves because there is a wound that isn't healed, and that's why we still feel the need to chase. Twin Flame Universe, if you haven't checked out Soria Andalib, it's spelled Soraya. Her last name is Andalib. And she is working with the Twin Flame Universe, Jeff and Shalia of the twinflameuniverse.com. And their scientific theory about the twin flame energies is that in essence we are both runners. As long as the chaser-runner dynamic is an illusion that's taking place, what we need to understand is that chasing is a sign of healing being needed. Therefore, we're running from the union of this connection because intuitively within our soul, we know that there's something we need to be working on. There's something that needs to be healed. So we're at this stalemate in this connection. Something changed. We end a cycle. And the last card I got and pulled for the divine feminine energy was the Empress. The Empress loves herself. She is perfectly healthy and fulfilled. So the divine feminine coming out as the Empress. And we're asking the universe what needs to change or transform in me, in my divine feminine energy, to be on the greatest and highest timeline. So by the divine feminine making the choice to let go, to surrender this connection, to no longer hold on to the expectation of union, to no longer focus on the divine masculine energy of what needs to be healed. Understanding that when we turn this inward, all these are reflections and clues of what needs to be healed in us. So this stalemate energy, it got to a point where it looks like the divine feminine energy made a move. They made a decision to let it go. And by doing so, it looks like that the divine feminine went into her empress mode. So if you are a divine feminine, and whether you're male or female, and you've learned not to chase, you've learned not to obsess and stalk and watch your divine masculine, if you've put those energies into check and you're realizing now that this really is about me, this is a reflection of me needing something healed, then you need to pat yourself on the back, because that is a huge, huge accomplishment in the twin flame connection. Because we will sit in cycles for months, years of chasing, thinking that we're waiting for this connection, that we're waiting for this next job, that we're waiting for this next dollar amount in our bank account. That puts us into that stagnant energy of not realizing that we're whole, not seeking validation for ourselves within other connections or even other materialism. So for the divine feminine recap, we asked what in us needed to change. What in us in that divine feminine energy really needed to change? So we were at a turning point. The cycle has ended because we stopped chasing. The runner-chaser thing is kind of a commercialized myth that serves its purpose, but in reality, you're looking at a runner and a runner. Those are opposing polarities. They go the opposite direction because both of them have healing to do. It's all about what's in the inside. And I know that's kind of confusing. So again, check out twinflamesuniverse.com and their scientific evidence from studying the twin flame phenomenon and what they now know is the science. I listened to that YouTube video yesterday and find it to be one of the most insightful lessons in understanding about the twin flame journey, which even just watching that video was a turning point for me, but it confirmed of what I had already done within my own personal journey, and realizing that at times it really felt like that I was the runner, that I was the one pushing away the love, both in the runner energy. And at the bottom of the deck, I took a look and we had the Four of Wands, and that's the 1111 connection. That's the twin flame connection. There's a sequence of cards that I just pulled. Go 2, 3, 4. This is the universe saying that everything is in perfect order. Even though you may have been involved in the runner-chaser dynamic, myself included, for about a year before I snapped out of it, it's okay. It's part of the process. This is the journey. This is your learning. You're learning to look at these things and understand that as an energetic being, this isn't a vanilla relationship. This is an energetic connection, divinely orchestrated from the highest source with intention purposes of being here at this time for us to be able to ascend. Our twin flame journey is the ascension into the higher frequencies, and your twin flame ignited that in you. So now we're going to take a look at the divine masculine energy. What in the divine masculine needs to transform or change? Not gender, but that's energy. So divine feminine, you've got divine masculine energy in you too. So don't turn off on the divine masculine part. Listen to what these energies are for your divine masculine side, okay? And I was cute. I used the Joker deck for this. And the first card I pulled was the Five of Cups. And fives are all about change. This says that there's been a mishap in this connection. If it gets hard, you give up. You can't help showing disappointment. You think, oh, this always happens. I always screw things up. Why do I always have the same result? Even these little mistakes or things that happen along the journey, we're so quick, to point them out and be, look, he did this. Or look, the physical, she did that. And being cynical is a wound that needs to be healed. That's showing low self-worth. We're trying to find validation by pointing out the mistakes in others. And I have been guilty of this in the past. This is something I've, on a personal level, really been working at as a Virgo, full Virgo in 4 places. That perfectionism, that comes as part of that, where you think you're helping the person by pointing out the error in their ways, but really that's just being cynical. So this also says that, that divine masculine energy, the Five of Cups, there's been a mishap, there is mistakes, but we can't return back to the way it was. The past is gone. We only have the now. We can't change the past. The divine masculine energy, also can't go back to the time the divine feminine and the divine masculine weren't hurt. We both have suffered some lessons, some hard lessons in life that left scars on our heart and caused us to go into the wounded warrior mode and to close off our hearts to loving again. This also says that the Five of Cups, what needs to change or transform in this energy, and that's that you should not linger on the things that have already happened. I released a reading called Learning the Lessons of the Mistakes of the Past, and it's got a big sizzling steak on the front of it. Check out that reading, because that falls in line with this strawberry full moon energy, is that you cannot focus on the things of the past. You have to let them go. That's not the person you were before. That's not the person I was. We have to allow for people's process, for their changing, their evolving, and especially right now, during this time of spiritual awakening and ascension, there is rapid growth happening within the divine masculine and the divine feminines right now. It also says that the divine masculine energy may have a hard time bouncing back from this, that we have to be patient with our divine masculine energies about the disappointment, about the regret. We have to look at it as gratefulness of the lesson that we learned, and we're not going to go back and make these same rookie mistakes again. This is the journey. And then in divine masculine energy, this Five of Cups, if you really think about it, if you would have came into union with your divine masculine and you didn't have these things about you healed, if you didn't have that wounded warrior, rejection, abandonment, low self-worth, victim mentality healed, then all the two of you would have done was come in and do more damage to each other. And the universe didn't want the divine masculine and the divine feminine to do any more damage. They have been through enough. They have been here going through the struggles, the traumas, learning the lessons. So it's really cool how the twin flame journey is orchestrated. Even though that the runner chaser is kind of a commercialized myth, it is part of the process. Understanding this connection more as energy that is divinely orchestrated. So the next card I pulled, I just want to reiterate too, is that look at this twin flame journey as one of the most challenging things the two of you are going through. This is challenging yourself. This is healing those energies within. And this is also sitting back and knowing that your soul incarnated in another body is at the same time what you heal reflects on them. So this may have been a little bump in the road, but don't hold it against yourself and don't hold it against your twin. The next card I pulled is the Ten of Wands. Tens are about ending this cycle. This is about the passions and the desires. And once we get out of this regret, once we know our self-worth, know that we're not separate, know that we're part of oneness with source, then the work is kind of done. It's all about harvesting the fruits of our labors. And if you look at this card, all the produce is collected in the boxes and it's sitting there. And what the universe is saying is like, now you have to take what you've learned and you have to integrate it. You get to enjoy the abundance of the fruits that you harvested. And this journey comes to an end after you stop chasing and the runner heals the wound of not thinking they're good enough for this type of connection. Both energies. When I say one or the other, just apply it to yourself and within that energy. It's a combined energy. But the universe is saying that the journey has come to an end. You're learning and you're healing. A large majority of it has been done. And if you're not chasing anymore and that runner-chaser dynamic is kind of over, it's time to check the results. Did you have sustainable results in this journey? Did you learn? Did you grow in spirituality? That's how you know if something's healthy for you, is if you look back. Was there growth? Did putting my energy in trying to control the outcome have sustainable results? The universe is also teaching us the lesson that don't invest your energy into anything that's not going to give back to you equally. And I said early in the in this reading that your energy is your most valuable asset, because where you put it is where your creative side and your manifesting comes in, so you can reap these harvests and these benefits. And in this case, even though the twin flame journey may have looked like the most atrocious and tumultuous, I can't say that word, I forget it, I'm not even going to try. You get what I'm trying to say. This journey could have been so difficult, but when you look back, did it have sustainable results? Are you the person you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago when you started on this journey? It's time to look at those results. It's time to integrate what we have learned. It's time to get back out there. So although the divine masculine felt the responsibility maybe to finish this job correctly, this is a perfectionism. This perfectionism wound is coming up again. This is low self-worth, feeling that you had to be perfect in the eyes of whoever you were around in order to gain their love. You were taught that unconditional love had to be earned, and being perfect was the way that we earn that. So the DM may have had expectations of others, placing a lot of pressure. So if divine masculine or feminine, you were in this divine masculine energy where you felt the need to do this perfect job, especially in this twin flame connection, this important divinely orchestrated connection. And maybe in that divine masculine energy, you had a lot of obligations, a lot of expectations on you, that pressure. And even as a woman, I see now that I was in my divine masculine energy for most of my adult life. It was the role I had to step into, kind of to compensate for the damage that was done to my divine feminine energy. That self-worth, that wounding of overgiving that encompasses so much of our lives as an empath. So being finished with the lesson, this card is saying that this day came without many difficulties, which I would argue that point. But looking back, the boxes are full of fruits. And that is reminding us of the responsibilities that we have in reality in the 3D. We can see the results of our hard work. We can see the results if we take the time to reflect on the blood, sweat, and tears, the effort that we put into something to manifest it and to have sustainable results. The twin flame journey is not coming into union with your partner. It's not the delusional Cinderella story of having this prince come in, sweep you off your feet, and life becomes grand. It's about realizing that you are your own prince. You are the only one that can come in and save yourself by finding yourself, by understanding who you are as an energetic being, and by healing the 3 core wounds that we experience as a human when we come down here and we kind of occupy this vessel, this meat suit. And those 3 core wounds are abandonment, rejection, of which those 2 lead to the wound of self-worth. And these energies of the strawberry full moon are really showing some in-depth healing going on within the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies that we carry inside us. These are the yin and the yang healing, getting more balanced. And this card, this 10 of Wands card, this is showing that the story has ended. It's the ending of a cycle. Congratulations. It was a bitch, wasn't it? Excuse my French, but holy boy, if I would have known what I was signing up for. Think of it as a soul. You signed up for the twin flame journey. Before you incarnated, you volunteered for this mission. You are a total badass warrior. You are an energetic soul warrior to come here now and partake on a journey as difficult as the twin flame journey. And the last and final card that I pulled in the divine masculine energy, what needs to change or transform? And this is the devil energy. All right, Capricorn. And if you look at this card, this is a really interesting card to come up. You see 2 lovers embracing, but they've got puppet strings tied to them. And the devil energy is manipulating these twin flames like a marionette energy. This explains the inner whims, the obsessions, and the attractiveness that cannot be explained by words in this other human being, in this twin flame that you met. It's because your souls touched and recognized each other. That unconditional love that your souls have felt and endured over lifetimes, it was reunited. Think about reuniting with a long lost love. Every movie has them running towards each other in the airport and embracing. Think about the emotions that you feel in that moment where you have traveled seas and hours and months and years by boat, by train, by plane to get back to your love. Think about what that emotion feels like to finally arrive and be back in each other's arms. That's what it's like when we find ourselves. That's what we should be feeling like as we realize and understand and the veil is lifted to who we are as an energetic being, that we are the creators, we are source. It is within us, and we are coming home to ourselves. We're coming home to feeling that unconditional love. So when you came across your twin flame and you had these explosive obsessions and emotions that you didn't quite understand, that you've never felt before, that's because your soul recognized each other. And in this twin flame journey, the obsession is I think it's one of the final tests in being able to turn off that chaser energy, to heal that need for external validation, because you're no longer seeking it in the 3D physical. You're not seeking it in that other body. You know that energy is embraced within yourself. And the divine masculine energy with this devil is saying what needed to change, or what's in the process of changing, is that this core wound of low self-worth is being healed, because we're realizing that we don't need to obsess over this connection, over this person. We need to just let it go. And everything that's meant to play out is going to play out exactly how it should. If we do these healings and we don't exert control, and we know that the low self-worth comes as a result of the abandonment wounding and the rejection wounding. These core 3 woundings are being seen in this reading. And in my other reading for the divine masculine, the mistakes, learning from the past, letting go of those lessons of the past, that is also about healing these 3 core wounds. And go check out that other reading if you haven't seen it yet. Also, watch out for the twin flame commercializing or feeding into this obsession, as we get addicted to tarot. And tarot has its place, believe me. I taught it to myself during this connection so that I could learn to follow the energies. As my spiritual gifts grew, I realized that I could channel these energies. Of course you can. You're a twin flame. But what I also realized is that obsessing over it, either by watching their social media, in your thoughts of playing out the past, of what you could have done, could have said, didn't do, shouldn't have done, those regrets of how we handled ourselves or this connection in the past. We can't obsess over those, and we can't obsess over the future watching tarot nonstop, because that gets us in that obsessive low energy. We're seeking validation of what we're feeling through the tarot reads. And of course, that's not great for, a YouTuber to tell people, well, don't watch tarot. But I would be doing an injustice if I didn't at least give a warning that through my journey, what I learned is that I had to balance that. Checking in on the energies is great, okay? But we've kind of learned in this reading that if you ask the question of what you're looking for to change, transform, or shift within yourself, within your divine masculine energy, or within your divine feminine energy, if we're asking the universe what needs to change, then we're coming at it from like a proactive standpoint of view rather than a reactive. And the universe will bring you the answers. So when you listen to a reading, before it starts, ask the universe, what are you trying to show me? What needs to be seen here? What needs to change? What perspective needs to shift? What needs to transform in my energies in order for me to align with my greatest and highest timeline? The obsessive thoughts about your twin are like nothing else you've ever experienced. I know, believe me. But this is a process. This is one step at a time. It's learning and getting the correct information from the right resources out there in YouTube land. who aren't inflating the runner-chaser dynamic in order to commercialize on it. And I know no one understands this, and there's not a lot of people to talk to. So you want your resource to be very solid. So I'm going to give a little pitch once again to twinflamesuniverse.com. They have a bunch of ascension coaches that are now having YouTube channels. They seem to have the scientific research and background to understand this connection better than anybody. Also, Sacred Soul Rising, Kat definitely has this figured out. You're looking at these from an energetic view, not from a vanilla relationship of the past, masculine and a feminine in the gender roles. These are energies. This is an energetic connection. We also have to accept, and this card shows, that we have a dark side. The yin and the yang lurks within each of us. Darkness is just absence of the light, and finding that balance is part of our mission of living in this 3D world of duality. So it goes back to the first card, the Five of Cups, having regrets and letting that go. Understanding that that was part of the journey. So forgive yourself and forgive your twin, because the twin didn't mean to malevolently hurt you. They were learning and evolving just as you are. And those dark sides within them needed to be balanced too. You know, there's no guarantees in the 3D love. There isn't. We can't have any expectations. Can make people fall in love very, very deeply in the 3D world. But that love can also split us. So by being vulnerable and wanting to receive that unconditional love, sometimes things can go wrong, and sometimes we can have our hearts hurt. And sometimes that hurt can cause us to hurt other people. But forgiving ourselves, these relationships are really hard to manage. As a human in our meat suits, they're much more complicated than sometimes expected. And in these divine feminine and these divine masculine energies, you know, let's summarize this. Let's bring this all together here. Whether you're a male or a female in human form, we're asking in your divine feminine energy what needed to transform or change. What did we need to do to balance out that divine energy? It said you were at a turning point and you had to end and cycle. It says also that you were at a stalemate in the energies with your twin, and then this forced this divine feminine energy into a crossroads choice. So uncomfortable in this energy that something had to change, a destined turn of events. And because of that choice of no longer chasing, no longer controlling, transmuting that rejection wound and that low self-worth, that allowed the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies to shift timeline. And the divine feminine energy has now expanded into Empress mode. Way to go, divine feminine energy. Like, seriously. Empress mode? Woohoo! Badass. All right, divine masculine energy. Like I said, when I looked at this yesterday, I could finally see that this also applies to my divine masculine energy, because I've been sitting in that divine masculine energy like my whole twin flame journey, being the chaser. I understand that now. My divine masculine doesn't want to see me in divine masculine energy. He wants me in divine feminine energy, and that had to be healed. So the divine masculine energy of what needs to change or transform, and that's no longer sitting in regret. It is what it is. Don't linger on it anymore. We were where we were. Our state of evolvement was where it was. We were meant to go through that lesson. It was a gift. We should look at that in gratefulness, not regret. You've done the work. The journey has come to an end. So what needs to change or transform is to take a look at these results by integrating what you have learned. And you cannot integrate unless you get yourself back out there and you start opening up your heart and you start having connections with people and allowing other energies to come in, to be discerning. The obsession, the addictions, those dark side, that yin and yang with us, the third thing the divine masculine energy needed to do is put that shit in check, myself included. We needed to find balance of not being too obsessive, too controlling, not being too possessive of an individual. Can't be possessive of a human being because they're a sovereign, divine, energetic being. You can't control them. You can't enslave them. That dark side of wanting to control, that yin and yang, that needed to be balanced in the divine masculine energy. That's what's transforming right now in these strawberry full moon energies. So I kind of wanted to ask, all right, what's the result of these changes? Twins, What is this going to do for us to work through these things that we've talked about in this reading? And oh gosh. So the card I pulled out of the Joker deck, and it came up the Chariot. Take a really good look at this Chariot card. This has got a divine masculine in this beat up card. It's demolished. It's dented. Things are falling off of it. It's smoking. The engine's not running right. It's been on a long journey. The whole thing is falling apart. But this divine masculine doesn't care. He's acting fearlessly and with passion. He doesn't give a shit what others think. The Chariot can only be ridden in by the Emperor and the Empress. We already saw that the divine feminine energy has gone into Empress mode. If this resonates with you and you're exactly where I'm at in this journey, this is the reading for you. You want to add your energy to this community, subscribe, because I think we're in the same place here. And the Emperor and the Empress ride in the Chariot. The Chariot is fast travel. It's movement without haste. You can see this guy. He's coming in. He's licked his wounds. He's bandaged himself up as best as he can. And he is traveling somewhere with his hair on fire. Have you had to bandage yourself up? Have you had to lick your wounds? Have you had to pick yourself up over and over and over again until you've learned these lessons? Have you been determined to get to the other side, knowing the abundance and the gift that the Creator has waiting for us? This dude he's determined. He's focused on the task. And the last card I pulled for this reading is the Six of Wands. That's victory or triumph over a situation. This is, we've put in the long hours and the hard work to have this victory. We've been through it, Twin Flames. We have been through it. You are a warrior for being on this journey. Don't ever cut yourself short. You are a total badass. The divine feminine and the divine masculine is being rewarded for all the blood, sweat, and tears. And in this card, the Six of Wands, it's saying that the friends and family may be grumpy and jealous about this situation. You know, the divine masculine and the divine feminine may get shit from their family and friends. They may have a bunch of haters thinking they're crazy. That you're going to go do what? You're going to go see who? Says that this main character, the divine masculine, is removing his clown mask. He no longer wants to hide who he is. He's handsome. He's tall. He's proud. He feels a sense of fulfillment and achievement. He's got confidence. He's jumping ahead. He's on the move. These energies are on the move. They are building. They are coming to an epiphany. And we're having breakthrough after breakthrough and spiritual level up and revealing after spirit. I know me, it's like once every 30 days, it's a big revelation. And I have a degree in psychology with 2 years of counseling and therapy training under my belt. And I still chased for a year because I had been taught seeking validation by someone else showing their love to me, their acceptance to me, was the way to feel unconditional love. And I had a thirst for it. And I didn't want to fail. My perfectionism, my divine masculine perfectionism would not allow me to fail. So I gave it everything I got. But there's been a turning point. There's been a transition. And I am so grateful that the universe has revealed to me that my chasing was me actually being a runner from myself. I was running from that divine masculine part of me that needed to be healed, needed to be balanced, and needed to be in check. So if you get anything out of this reading today, it's number one, monitor how much tarot you're watching in those energies. Understand that when you listen to a reading, you have to apply the divine masculine energy to yourself. Not point it out and say, oh, look, my divine masculine needs to do this, this, and that. You need to turn that inward. Everything you hear about these energies, regardless of if they're feminine and masculine, you need to turn and look at it from inner, from your energy. What in me needs to be healed, transformed, or changed in these strawberry moon lunar energies, because they are very, very, very powerful. And just like the strawberry comes out in the spring and it brings that sweetness that we've been desiring all winter long after a time of being in hibernation, getting past the chaser runner myth dynamic process that we go through in this twin flame connection is a huge step, because now we have the option to come into union as a spiritual, energetic being. We have free will to make the choice whether or not we want to be in union with our divine masculine or our divine feminine. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know this was a little long one. I was getting into it. This is really great stuff. I'm starting to really see the light at the end of the tunnel in this reading. And if you are if you are in these energies and you're with me and this is the stage that you're at, welcome to Sunshine for the Soul. Appreciate you subscribing and putting your energy. Divine masculines, welcome. I am really trying to do a lot more readings directed towards the divine masculine energy, because I really feel that that's where the shift is going now. The energies are at a precipice for the divine masculine part of us to be healed and come into balance. And I'm wishing you guys light and love on the journey. We'll see you next time. Peace.